Cathedral. I'm Simon Griffiths, the Canon Presenter, and it's lovely to welcome you back to the Cathedral web pages again. I'm standing at the door of the precentory because I'm in a great dilemma. We have been in lockdown now for a number of weeks because of the coronavirus pandemic, and I'm flipping fed up to the back teeth of it. I'm desperate to go out, to have friends around to dinner, to have a party, to meet up with people, to go to the beach, walk the dogs in the forest, to go for a short holiday, stay with friends, visit my holiday home, anything to stop me from crawling up the walls and to break the monotony. But I know that if I do not observe the rules of the lockdown, that I'm placing myself in danger of contracting the virus, or that I might even be asymptomatic and pass the virus on to someone else with possible tragic consequences. Although there is speculation in the press about a possible relaxation of the lockdown to some extent, nevertheless, some experts are warning of caution in order to avoid a possible second wave of the pandemic. But I'm tempted to go out. Perhaps if the government had placed a guard on the door of my house to ensure that I stay put, might have made sure that I can't go out unnecessarily. But then that would have implications for liberty, freedom, the public purse, and our civic duty to act responsibly. So I have a choice. Oh, how I wish that this would end. But I shouldn't feel sorry for myself, should I? There are people struggling far more than I am. There are people facing uncertain futures, many who are anxious and vulnerable, people who are so ill, and those who desperately watch and wait. Why has this pandemic occurred? And where is God in all this? How can he possibly have allowed all this and all the suffering in the world to go on? Why doesn't he do something? The case against God can be summarized like this. Either he can't do anything about the pandemic, in which case he cannot be all-powerful, or he will not do anything about it, in which case he cannot be all-loving. The existence of suffering and evil in the world is one of the greatest arguments against the existence of God, and there are no easy answers to offer. Furthermore, there is also something here about free will, isn't there? A God who constantly interferes in the world cannot be said to be allowing his people free will. Free will cannot possibly be free will if we are suddenly compelled to do something. So what does that mean for God? Perhaps it is a bit like parents who have to stand back and constantly have to watch their children suffer or make their own disastrous decisions, and who can do nothing but watch, but suffer alongside and love them anyway. So to what extent does God's providential care mean that he is a non-interventionist God? Perhaps it's a bit more subtle than that. Perhaps he has given us the means whereby we can work to help those who are suffering or in need. Perhaps he has given us the ability to work together, to research and discover effective treatment or a vaccine. Perhaps the human ability to find solutions to these problems is a participation in God's own work of healing creation and alleviating disease and suffering. Perhaps we are more involved in the transformation of our own world than we think. So I am left with many thoughts and many questions. Why are there things like pandemics in our world? To what extent is it possible to feel the love of a non-interventionist God, especially in times of crisis and disaster? Will there ever be a time when evil and suffering are eradicated in this world? What part does sin play in my life and that of the world? And to what extent do our decisions advance or hinder God's work? These are hard questions, and there are no easy answers. And I suspect that I've posed more questions than there are answers. And I invite you to leave your own thoughts and comments on this brief talk on the webpage. Please do. It would be good to hear from you and to hear your thoughts and experience and what they might be. In the meantime, I will, as always, offer a short prayer. Loving God, your providential care for us and the world sometimes means that it is difficult to feel the reality of your love for us. Help us to be open to your will. Guide our thoughts and our actions. Make us mindful of those in need. Calm those who are anxious, fearful, or in turmoil. Bless those who are working to find effective cures and vaccines. Keep safe key workers on the front line of COVID and caring for those who are ill. And guide our leaders and advisors. We make our prayer through Jesus Christ our Lord. Amen. Thank you. Keep safe, keep well, and keep in touch with us at Truro Cathedral. And you never know, next time I might actually be leading one of these meditations from within the cathedral itself.